Hello. So this is going to be part 2 of my video about blade steerability, I'm calling it. Don't know if that's a technical term. I think it might be. Blade steerability. The ability to cut in and out rather than just cut through, direct the cut as one does, whittling creatively, that kind of thing. So there was something outstanding to say about all of the knives, and then also I didn't get around to cutting with this one yet. So the footage cut out earlier. I mean, it was just a memory issue with the phone. So what did I not say about this? Was yes, I said that I just convexed in, but I also thinned out a lot. So this was quite a chunky geometry on this blade to start out. I didn't measure the behind the edge thickness before, and I can't really do it now because it's all, the behind the edge thickness is that. That's your behind the edge thickness now, right? Technically speaking. So, I was talking about the Gerst. I was calling it the Ultra Slice, but Ultra Slice is like a trademarked name already. So now I'm thinking maybe Super Slice or something. But whatever we'll call it is a slicer. Right? And so Patrick made this one just for fun, I guess, as an experiment. Well, for fun and an experiment, using a Sawzall blade. So it's some kind of carbon steel, maybe 1095, I don't know what carbon steel they use. But from the original stock thickness, he ground this incredibly slender flat grind. And originally it was pretty much straight. Had a little issue. The tip might have been a little burned or something, so the tip wore off quicker with sharpening. But I find this profile more useful than a purely straight edge on this knife. Yeah, so where that video left off, I was saying you can whittle with this. And when you whittle with it, it's like a pairing experience, that the blade will flex with the medium, so you get a lot of you could get a very fine cut with that, and also works very well for scraping. It's really a scraper. So I guess for scraping a hide or scraping crusty paint or whatever, probably work pretty well. So I told him about my told Patrick about my $20 knife notion. See whether I can make some knives and sell them for $20. And so this is, the prototype for what I came up with. Put a little oil on the handle. So this is mountain laurel branch wood. Just a piece that felt nice in the hand, felt like a nice little knife handle. But obviously it's profiled down to an oval now. And the blade stock is a Stanley chisel from the 1980s. Mystery steel. I'd like to send one of these off and get tested by Peter's heat treat so that I can find out what the steel is. But it's a good steel by my lights. I mean, whatever. It's budget tool steel. They chose. I'm losing it. They chose back then to make a chisel for the domestic market. It takes a wicked edge. Doesn't hold it that great, but if you're whittling, I mean, this thing will hold a pretty good edge. And yeah, as I explained, it's good for kind of flat cuts. If you want to, it's not the ideal spoon whittling knife necessarily, but I mean, as one of a group of tools, you could definitely get use out of it for spoon carving. But I wouldn't want to do the whole spoon just with this knife necessarily. But for knife handles, got one I've been working on around here somewhere. This thing, this piece of burl, very tortured grain. This is all punky, this part. I mean, it's I don't even want to touch it with a knife right now. very much, because it's about where I want it. And as soon as you cut into this, you start getting breakouts and stuff. But this thing, I'm sorry, I do apologize. It did seem to be very sharp. So let's just see. This black line here is way harder than everything surrounding it. Good, very good. But we're going to have to look into the steerability in a minute. So yeah, this one, I said Shirogorov. It is a Shirogorov Sinkovich design, so I shouldn't have left that out. Sinkovich is the designer, and I guess it's made by Shirogorov in collaboration with. Splendid, but in current geometric condition, as I said, I don't find it that great for whittling because it just wants to cut flat, or it really kind of then wants to dig in. Kind of more like what I would have always said about hollow grind. So, hollow grind just wants to dig in. So here's a hollow grind. I'd be surprised if any viewer recognizes this from an early video of mine, but this is the Great White Shark collector's knife. Fantastic piece of kit. I did sharpen it, and I also performed a modification like that. That piece was kind of in the way, and now I've lost it on the floor somewhere. But it'll probably go onto the sheath or something. So yeah, that's way better. Ergos. Really cool knife. Love it. Everything about it, except possibly the whittling performance. It'll cut, especially now that I sharpened, but you can't get curls with it. You can't get long. Tends to just, now it just kind of digs in and digs out, instead of before maybe it would have just kind of dug in. Now it just kind of digs in and pops in and out. You can't get it to flow, and that's probably the geometry. So I don't know whether this was actually a Damascus, some kind of real Damascus, and then they did some wizardry with the etching here, or what. This is probably, maybe it's laser done, but I mean right down onto the bevels there. The primary cutting bevels. And I'll put that away. That was just a bit of fun. I'm banging back and forth. So, I spoke with Patrick Gerst, and I said, man, I want to make this $20 knife. How about you join me? Because we're talking about collaborations that we're doing together. This and that, ideas really at the moment. We have collaborated in as much as, we've sent each other some blades and stuff. But, talking about making knives together somehow. And I just really thought, this is cool. And this is unique, There's nothing really like this that I could know of on the market that's just so slicey. And that gives it unique capabilities or characteristics, one of which is extremely lightweight, right? So you can hardly notice it if you're carrying this on you, weight-wise. With a simple leather slip just to cover the blade. It's a great little pocket fixed blade for all kinds of occasions. Probably a backup, a secondary, a tertiary knife. But yeah, I like it. I actually wear it on this little neck sheath. I actually fell asleep with it last night on, and so when I got up this morning and went out wandering around in my boxer shorts, I already had a knife on me. So I recommend. Patrick said about repeating this, that it would be touch and go whether he could get all the Sawzall blades and this kind of thing, and also it's quite a lot of work, It's not really $20 of work to do all that grinding, to get that flat and straight and properly sharpened and so forth. This I realized later. But he agreed anyway. He said, yeah, I could do it, but let's get some fresh steel. So I got some 1095 that was about the same thickness as this, and I sent that over to him for him to make me 10 of these. And I think something didn't work out quite. I think we're getting 9, and one of them's going to have a Scandi grind for an experiment. And so my idea was to launch those, sell those for $20, along with some of these. Maybe make 20 knives, 10 of these, and sell them for $20 a pop. But now, I'm thinking that that's maybe not the right approach, and that this one is the $20 knife, but this one might have to be a bit more, because he's taken this 1095, he's ground each of these blades out and heat treated individually, quenching in oil and so forth in this special proprietary oil blend that he's come up with, including things like chainsaw bar oil and stuff. Fascinating. Very interesting and talented young man, Patrick Gerst. So they're on the way. I'm going to have some of these, and I guess somehow I'm going to try and sell them. So if anyone's interested, let me know. This is by way of market research somewhat, this video here. Okay, so we covered that. I don't really have anything more to say about it, but ooh la la. It's a hunting knife, really. That's my take. It's a EDC hunter's knife. I don't really hunt, but if I were going hunting and I wanted to take a folding knife with me, this would probably be the one. And so yeah, what else to say about this? Some of the ones I make will have this patina. Well, not this patina. Each patina will be individual, because that would mean that it was a secondhand chisel. And so some of them are rusty, some of them are just a little like this. Some of them have paint on them, whatever. So that's going to be the finish. And then the bevels, as you see, I cut that first of all on a grinding wheel. It's a 6-inch, and then I finish everything on the Tormek, taking great care to not overheat the steel. And of course, after the initial grind with the Tormek water grinding, you can't burn the steel. So I get about as good an edge on this as I think is possible. I dare say, about ballpark. Yeah, well, there she is. I've been wearing her on my belt, pulko style, a little dangler in this sheath. That seems to fit a lot of the knives that I make. Seem to go in this sheath just right, which the owner of the thrift store gifted to me. I had to repair it there. When he saw that the knife I was carrying fit perfectly in it, as opposed to the sheath that it was in, he said, well, that one's for you. And since then, that knife I sold, but I've made other knives, and so that speaks to my preferred handle dimensions, I guess. Cool, it's awesome, and I think it'll just get better with further sharpening, and maybe I want to do a little more rounding out in the spine and so forth. But it's a cool. Let me just whittle a little of this. See what I mean? You can cut in, you can cut out, you get your nice curls. And it's easy. It's an intuitive feeling of just resting the blade and finding the angle. Lovely. So yeah, definitely better this kind of thing than this when you're doing a bit like that. So now I'm going to try this and see how the geometry works. Wow. Wow. Yeah. The dude in the thumbnail was not kidding. Spydie hollow grinds, legitimately whittle. That is amazing. Wow. Ooh. So good. Right here in the tear out zone, let's try. Awesome. Well, I've gone on long enough. You can hear the dog barking. He wants to go out for a walk. This is going in my pocket, and I shall dance merrily through the woods with my dogs. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.